Oh my god. I muted myself again for some reason. Whoops! Let's try that again. Okay, so I've done that every single time. Okay, so as you can see, my cat is behind me, to the right of me, to my left obviously, but she was just on my chair during the break. So if you're just tuning in, we are moving on to the second series of today, which will be between iRk and SouL. And I do, please do excuse the mess behind me as well. A little bit messy in here today. Got home a little bit late, but you know what, there's nothing too much I can do about that. Let's head on over to have a look at who the matchup is going to be, and let's see what they're going to be playing on. Even weird. Okay, as you can see, iRk versus SouL. SouL top of Group B at the moment. They are looking like they will make it to the playoffs. But of course, it isn't over for iRk. iRk are joint second. And if they do well here, if they can get a win off of SouL, this could propel them into the lead. No, you know what? They will still be behind, but it depends on how well they win. But it will cement their position a little bit further forward in the playoffs. Will force White to really put in a lot of effort in their last two games to try and catch up. But SouL have done really well so far. 10 wins, 1 loss on their Terrans, and 5 wins, 0 losses on their Zergs. So an insane amount of work put in from them. And let's have a look at what maps they're going to be playing on today. Set 1 is going to be on Grand Line SE. Set 2 is going to be New Moonglaive. Set 3, Judgment Day. Set 4, Sincho Pungryung. And Set 5, New Empire of the Sun. So really nice maps for today as well. These are the week 6 maps, obviously. And there is an all Protoss lineup by iRk. The SQ will be very happy. There are Terrans here. So we're starting off with Cubic versus Dandy. Moving on to Imber versus Babo. Favorite versus Richley. And Arkneon versus Ultra to finish us off. Now there was a walkover in this series. That was Favorite versus Richley. I will not say what the outcome of that was. But let's have a look at the players quickly. So we're going to have Cubic. This is going to be his debut game for iRk here. He's not actually played before. This is his debut STPL match. As you can see, he's got no wins, no losses. But Dandy doing really well so far. Is currently 3-0 up against, well, just in general, I think he's won at least one PvZ. So, sorry, TVP even. Done a really good job. Has our Dandy, Peruvian of course, and they are going to be playing on Grand Line SE. You may have seen this map beforehand. Yeah, may have seen this map beforehand. It's a pretty cool map. 12 and 6 o'clock spawns, 9 and 3 o'clock island bases with gas, and of course gas naturals, mineral only thirds. And let's get on to the first game. Okay, so starting us off in the bottom left position is going to be the blue Protoss, iRk Cubic. And his opponent starting in at the top right position is going to be his... I already said his opponent, didn't I? It's going to be SouL Dandy. Now, of course, we did have a fairly long series before. This is our second series of the day. If you did miss the first series, you can actually go back and watch that on my YouTube later. Cubic asking if Dandy is Peruvian. Yes, he is, as he just confirmed. One of the nicer Peruvian players, but I've got some incriminating videos, or incriminating replays of him cheesing me on ladder PvT in like 2015 on IC Cup, so there is a little bit of a grudge there between me and Dandy, because I did get annoyed by him constantly joining my game when he was clearly better than me, but I did play with him every single time. We never BM'd each other. He seemed like a fairly nice guy, but he was kind of laggy. But his internet's got a lot better recently, and you know what? I'm actually quite proud of Dandy. He's putting in a lot of work. He's really cementing his place in the top 2 Peruvian players. Some say he's even the best Peruvian Protoss player at the moment. Now, one thing to note is they are playing on the IC Cup version of this map, so that he can't wall this off fully. You can actually build a full wall on the normal version, so a little bit of a thing for him. But yeah, Terra and Dandy definitely at the top of the Peruvian rankings. Unfortunately, I can't really speak about Cubic too much. I've not really heard too much about him, but would be interested to learn about his style, see how he's going to do it. Of course, there are a lot of iRk matches coming up in the future throughout the next year or so, or like, I mean, he's likely going to be in the Brood War Clan League team and everything like that, so I'm going to try and follow that a little bit closer this time. But the one problem is the Brood War Clan League seems to cast on Sunday, when I'm sort of doing STPL stuff and also doing other things. So it's a bit harder, but Danny and Terra, of course, have a big rivalry going on. Terra is in... What team is Terra on now? He joined Naz, I think it is. Serpalag, StarCraft SouL. I think Cubic may be Korean. I'm not too sure, though. Could be SouL. Like, could you imagine if this was SouL? But, I mean, Dandy is up at 500 APM. Now, when I watched Flash play the other day, no spoilers, of course, for the ASL, but Flash did play the other day, and I saw him with 500 APM. Now, that's 500 APM legit. I think this is 500 APM with lag. So, yeah, and Whistler is confirming that Cubic is Korean. So, iRk's roster getting quite big, quite varied. They're putting a lot of effort into trying to improve their team. They're in a lot of tournaments now. They've got 2 teams in Brood War Clan League for the next season. Of course, they're in the STPL. And they're very much looking like they're going to make it to the playoffs as well. But Dandy doing a pretty good job here of pushing back the probe. Going to stop it scouting too much. It will scout the... No, it didn't see the command center. It did, of course, see the bunker, but this could be a fake here, and Cubic is likely going to have to send a second probe over, unless he wants to send his Dragoon in. Yeah, you know what? I was spoiled the ASL as well. I'm a mod on the Foreign Brood War Discord, and someone thought it'd be a great idea in the non-spoiler channel to post an image which was clearly a spoiler from the game, and I had to delete it, and I was so unbelievably salty. And you know what? Even, like, my problem is with spoilers, they completely ruin the series for me because I know the outcome, but even then they were still amazing games to watch. It doesn't matter who won, it doesn't matter if you know who won, go and watch those ASL games. The round of 8 games, they've all been good so far. One of the series wasn't that great, one of the players got a bit bopped, but that was early on in the round of 8, so either way, they've been pretty crazy. Flash equals Dandy and Dandy equals Kicks. I'm a very Dandy man, but you know what, I'm definitely not Dandy. And also, I'm not a race trader like Dandy is, because he plays PvT, man. I can't begin to reconcile that. Like, what are you doing, Dandy? Come on. But here we go. We have 2 factories coming up from Dandy behind this. Fairly standard. We may see a 6 fact coming in from him. Now, we do actually have an extra Nexus coming up here as well for Cubic. Looks like we are going to see some Reavers out of him as well, if he does go for the support bay fairly soon. But a little bit of pressure going down on the bunker, forcing some repairs to go off on this. Not really too much to go on. Now, Cubic isn't being super aggressive. He's not sending all of his Dragoons over here. And this is because he wants to get this 3rd base very, very quickly. Now, what is his tech choice going to be? Is he going to add an observatory? Or is he going to add Reavers? Now, Dandy, of course, has gone for 2 machine shops, so he's going to be adding on a lot of tanks very, very quickly. This does give him a lot of options in TVP. You can go for... there's like 5 fact, 4 fact, 6 fact. 6 fact the most all-in out of all of them. You can also expand. You can all-in off of 4 fact as well. But he is going to add on... I thought there was going to be an armory, but it wasn't. So he's adding on his scanners. Going to be able to scan the Protoss main. Going to scan the natural as well, most likely, to see the composition of the units. They're going to be a little bit harder, because Cubic's just... I mean, Cubic, I think, is worried about a drop, possibly. Also checking out for any vultures running by. But thank you very much for the cheer, Creative. And I mean, 6 fact is a lot of fun. I know that's Terra's main build. But now he scanned, and I believe he saw the support bay actually, so I did miss where he scanned, but you can only assume he saw that because he did scan this location here. And there is going to be Reavers coming in, so Shuttle's coming in as well. Dandy forced to send some units back into his main, going to add an engineering bay on as well, and not going to go for Wraith or turrets or anything like that. I mean, Wraith is very strong against the Shuttle. It does allow you to chase it down and kill it, but when speed is in play, it makes it a little bit more difficult. Of course, Shuttles... turrets are a little bit more reliable for the late game, but the one problem you have is if you do spam too many turrets, you delay your extra factories, delay your vultures, and delay a lot by going for that. Now, is he going to scan again? I mean, he does have to be careful because there could be DTs eventually coming in here as well, and it looks like he's not going to try and get this observer. So the observer going to scout exactly what it needs to. Going to scout that there's 4 factories, going to scout the missile turret as well. And Cubic is going to feel very, very safe down here on his 3 bases. Thought that was going to be a probe taking a 4th as well, but not going to be that greedy. And now going up to 5 gateways, 6 gateways in the main. Another scan actually goes down, and it just about sees the 3rd base. He actually scanned in a very clever position. So the reason why he scanned here is, as you can see the farthest minerals of here and the farthest minerals of here, so it does allow you to scout both bases at once with just 1 scan. So Dandy showing he's put a lot of work into learning the map. Even he's actually been on this map a couple of times throughout the STPL as well, so Dandy has been a very stable linchpin for his team really. He's been one of the major players. He's won 3 of his games, of course, going to be looking to add on a 4th. And we actually have a... Oh, this is a very scan thing to do, actually. Oh my god, that medic. The medic moving out, trying to take one of the Scarabs, and actually dies immediately to siege tank fire. But that medic, very important early on, does allow you to do a little bit of extra damage with the Marines, with the push. There's no real reason to do it. Now, of course, he could have gone for Blind. I don't know if he did, but Blind would be very good here. And we did see some really Boxer-esque stuff the other day between Bradley and Cold, so Dandy isn't too far away from being flashy with this stuff. He does feel pretty confident, I would imagine, going into this game, but this is going to be something he has to be careful of. Nice pick up on the Reaver though, but it goes down immediately afterwards, and this is such a big push in by Dandy. 4 tanks do remain against only 3 Dragoons. And Dandy is going to be able to put some pressure here on the 3rd base. He's going to siege up a little bit further back. He does have vision of this though, so he's going to be able to attack this. But here we go, Zealots moving in to bomb on top of the tanks. This is going to be pretty big. But of course there's no siege tanks at the back to do any extra splash damage. And it looks like I've actually got Cubic with some units over there. But this 3rd base is going to go down, and this was such a well executed attack by Dandy here. And here we go, it looks like the Reaver going down. Oh my god, this could be a huge Scarab. A huge Scarab goes off, killing 2 of the tanks, getting another one to incredibly low health. But it was not enough to save his Nexus here, but another huge Scarab goes down. A lot of these units heavily damaged, and Cubic is trying to push back out onto the map here. A nice mine does go down, but it's only going to take out one of the Dragoons. One of the Zealots even. And somehow Cubic has turned this around. He's killed the majority of Dandy's army. Dandy is trying to put mines down to delay this, but this counter push could be very, very strong. And here we go. Looks like we do have Age, the captain of iRk, in the chat, so really cool to see him along. Another tank going down there for Dandy though. This is so... Oh, it's such a bad position for Dandy to be in. He's lost all of his tanks. He's lost most of his vultures now. And he's got very little back at home to defend. He's not going to be able to hold on to this 3rd base, most certainly. And Cubic doing a lot of damage pushing in here. More and more units streaming across the map. Looks like Dandy finally does have 3 tanks here, but... Oh, the Reaver dropping down on top of the tanks. Gonna go down, but does get a nice Scarab off. There's only 1 Marine in the bunker. A nice repair going down on the tank. Not going to be enough. And Cubic looks like he's going to be able to break through. What an amazing counterattack here off the back of losing his 3rd Nexus. One of the things that you have to learn in TVP, and one of the things I've learned the hard way, is losing a Nexus isn't that impactful. Like, it's only 400 minerals. He saved a few of the probes, but still, I mean, this counterattack is doing so much damage. Looks like Dandy's going to be able to try and hold on at the top of his ramp, but this tank is very close to going down. He's going to siege up. Worst possible decision is the Zealot's going to get straight on top of this. A nice SCV drill at the ramp. Going to be able to block some of these units, trying to get some of the units out for him. But just look at how many units are moving across the map right now. More and more units flooding in. He's trying to hold on with pure Zealots. He's trying to use his SCVs to drill. He needs to repair this tank. If he can repair the tank, maybe he can hold on. He's got a really nice job, a really nice block here with the SCVs. But just how much damage is Dandy going to take? You can see his income is so low right now. He's only mining off of the one base he's holding. But for how long? He's not going to repair that tank, it looks like. And moving to the low ground here is going to be a massive mistake. He needs to go back to the high ground with his tanks. Oh my god, this could be such a bad move. He needs his tank here and his tank here to try and do as much damage as possible. But it looks like he will hold on. He's going to mine out the front. He's trying to take this third base in a hidden fashion. I'm going to try and squeeze past with some of these vultures, do some damage. Lay some mines behind the army. But I mean, Dandy is in such an awful position right now. He's going to have to build a couple of turrets here. Going to add up to 3 here at the front. But here we go. Here comes the Reaver. Here comes the Zealot. Reaver going to drop in between the tanks. The tanks cannot fire. And this Reaver is going to be doing a lot of damage. More and more units going. And a lot of the vulture mines went down immediately. And Dandy looks like he's actually been broken now. He's trying to hold on. He has mines out the front of the base, I think, unless they're vultures. But it looks like he's trying to hold on. He needs to keep this tank alive. He needs to keep his tank alive to keep the dream alive in this game. And finally, sieging on the high ground, going to be able to take down some of these units. And I mean, slowly but surely, he is slowly stabilizing, but he's lost so many SCVs. He's lost so many tanks, and Cubic taking a third base again. And really nicely played by Cubic so far, but really nicely held by Dandy as well. I can't fault him here for that. I believe the vultures at the front actually managed to get some of the probes. I know he didn't actually transfer any probes over yet. But it looks like we have more vultures moving across the map. Gonna see that there isn't any more units pushing in, so it's gonna allow him to add on his tanks, start to secure his third base. Which we can see up here, but here we go. Dandy trying to move in, trying to intercept the probes. Of course, there is a pylon wall here, so not going to be able to do too much. Going to be forced to pull away. So nothing too crazy. Now Cubic is a Korean who just recently joined iRk, so he's doing a pretty good job so far against the Peruvian hero Dandy. So a pretty cool game so far. This has possibly been one of the most back and forth TVPs we've seen throughout the entire tournament so far. But just to give you a little bit of a hint of what's to come next week, we're going to have a PvT between Scan and Best in SouL versus White, so that is going to be absolutely insane. And here we go. It looks like we do have more and more mines being laid out the front. Now we do also have the third base being mined now from Dandy. Looks like Cubic spreading his units pretty well, trying to sweep for any mines. One good thing Dandy's doing, he's not laying any mines here, which is kind of interesting, but he is checking for the other mains. He should really put a mine here and a mine here as well as a mine here, just to make it a little bit harder for the Protoss to deal with this. Now, as you can see, Cubic moving in, going to be trying to take a fourth base here. This is of course going to be his third gas. Very important for him to secure this. And here we go, the second gas finally being added on for Dandy's actually not mining officially off his second gas. This is going to be hurting him a lot. He's not mining it at all. This is a pretty big mistake by Dandy. He's doing a pretty good job macroing up. His gas is of course pretty high right now. He's not getting any upgrades, so he's going for the science facility, so I think he already has one. Yeah, he's got 1-0, he needs to add a science facility to add 2-1. So a little bit of a mistiming there on his science facility. And I mean, Cubic taking his third base. What tech do we actually have coming in? We have the Templar Archives going. Do we have a Stargate yet? It does not look like we do. So it looks like we're going to have the Kingdom style coming up here for Cubic. He's going to be relying a lot on Storm, a lot on DTs, and a lot on Gateway units. But interestingly, where are the High Templar? He has 2 shuttles worth of Zealots and Dragoons, so it looks like he's going to be very, very aggressive here. And here we go, it looks like Cubic moving out. Now, just because I know Avi is trying to cause a little bit of drama, I'll talk about that afterwards. But here we go, the Zealots actually moving in, taking out a lot of the mines, and Dandy does not actually have that many units. A nice Zealot bomb has actually gone down at the front, and this is a lot of damage done to Dandy's army. He has no tanks on the high ground, and it looks like Cubic may just have enough. Some nice tank shots at the end, though. Gonna be enough to kind of kill a lot of the Dragoons, but Dandy, once again, forced back into his main. He's going to try and lay mines outside the front of his base. He does not want to go down here. This is such an important game for SouL and iRk here, because if iRk do manage to beat SouL, it gives both White and iRk the chance of moving in front of SouL for the playoff spot next week. But Dandy's still trying to hold on. He's trying to give it the best he can. Wants to make sure that he can pull out a win here for his team. And it looks like he's not going to be able to do it. Cubic pushing in with more and more units. We have a single Dragoon over here taking forever to kill any SCVs. But this is the main point of contention. We do have the 4th base now mining for Cubic, as you can see the probe transfer coming in there. And we should eventually see a Stargate coming in. Yeah, there we go. The Stargate is coming in. That's going to be for Arbiter Tech. But Dandy is at death's door. He's trying to pull his SCV. He's trying to hold on with anything he can. I mean, this one Dragoon is going to eventually kill all these SCVs. Another 2 tanks have pulled out. The SCVs trying to hold on to the front. But these Zealots going to be worth their weight in gold as they push in here. A Vulture has come out. He can micro against this. Finally, an Observer is going to go down to the turret. But more and more units going in here. We do actually have a scan coming up from Dandy. GG! And Cubic will take the first game against SouL.